in this lesson, I want to talk about masks. So, masks is a really helpful way to be able to erase and carve without actually taking away and actually erasing something and making it go away forever. Okay. Once you get used to mask, it hopefully will be a really helpful tool in your arsenal. So basically, what masks, how I use masks at least, is press B for brush. And let's say I have the shape, this tree, okay? And I want to fix the shape a little bit, but I want to be able to not actually erase into this shape, just play around with cutting into it. So what mask is this tool right here, and I actually have gone over it with the in the lesson about making groups and creating a mask in that group or on that group. So if you press this button right here, the square with the circle, that's going to occur. Okay, so I can't really make this layer panel bigger, but you can see this clip and then this extra layer right here. Now, this extra layer is a layer that you're going to play around with. So let's see what happens if we fill that hole, this layer right here, black. So I'm going to fill it black. So you see what happens when I click on this layer? We see the colors that I was playing with. This is a mask. So now it turns black and white. Black means you're taking away. White means you're adding back. Okay, so with that in mind, I know it sounds abstract right now, but with that in mind, let's press let's fill this layer completely black. So I'm going to press Option Delete. Now make sure I have it selected. So I'm clicking and I have it selected. Now this is selected, but I want this selected. So I'm just showing you how it looks when something's selected. So I click that, I pick Option Delete, and the whole thing is filled with black. What just happened? Basically, I erased it. I'm telling Photoshop, I don't want anything in this layer to be seen. That's not really what I want. I just wanted to show you what would happen. So I don't want that. Control Z. Now it's filled back with white. Okay. Um, so now what I want to do is I'm going to use black. Black means I'm taking away, right? So I'm going to now start using that. And I'm essentially, you see, I'm erasing. I'm actually erasing. Maybe I want to cut into, I can use the lasso tool. So what we learned as well, I'm just cutting in these sky holes of this tree and I'm pressing Option Delete to fill it with black, meaning I'm taking away from this blue shape that I have. Okay. So you can see what's happening in that layer is that all the areas in black are the parts that I'm hiding essentially. I'm not really erasing it because look at what happens. Let's say I go, oh, I want the original tree shape back. I don't like what I did. Well, if you had erased it, you would have to Control Z, right? Or paint it back. But in this case, if I flip this back to white, so before it was black, now press this arrow thing right here, and now it's white. White means I'm unhiding it, right? Or I'm bringing it back. I'm revealing it back. So now if I click white and I start coloring all the areas, I am now like bringing back what I had before. So this is the shape I had before. Okay. So, and now you can see it's also actually showing real time in that mask as well. So it's just a little bit of black that's hiding, but otherwise I brought it back. So I like to use masks as a way to carve and refine my shapes without actually erasing, without actually going to the eraser tool and going on that layer and erasing. Because then I'll have to Control Z if I don't like what I did, or I'll have to repaint it, right? So this is almost like a safe, like a foolproof way for me to cut and experiment with shapes without bringing it without erasing. Now make sure you're on the B tool. Right now I was just on the eraser tool and I tried to do it and it didn't work. So make sure you're on brush. So make sure you're on brush and now I'm on black. So I'm cutting in. Let's do something drastic so you can see. Say I want to make this like a skinny tree now. So doing that and I've cut into that. I want to make the trunk a little bit skinnier. Now I've cut into that tree. Now, how if I want to actually take away the mask, I can go right click, so make sure you're hovering over the mask. It won't work here. Your hand has to be above the mask layer, and you can go disable. Let's see what that does. Disabling brings it back to my original shape. And there's a big X over it, meaning this mask is not being applied to this layer. Okay? And let's see what happens if we delete it. Deleting it's like the mask never happened. Okay, so I'm back to square one. And now if we apply it, oh, now let's enable it. So when we enable it, now the mask is showing. Okay. Now the last thing is we can also apply it. Now applying it, it's like, yes, I want to commit these changes and I won't have a mask anymore. Let's say apply it, basically applied it, and this is now my new shape. The mask has gone away. And now, yeah, essentially it's embedded into this, right? Like this is now the new thing. So I don't usually apply something unless I'm super sure this is what I want. Otherwise, I can, keep playing around, right? So that's a really handy thing with masks because, again, I can play around with carving a shape without actually erasing or, committing to the shape right away, right? I can, and let's say I had, maybe some of, I don't know what these shapes are, this, and then I put a mask right here. So let's just do it again. I have it on black, so I'm erasing. So let's say I go, I want to hide this. But then like halfway through my painting, I'm like, no, no, I want those little bunnies back or whatever they are. I press white, and now I can paint them back in exactly like how they were before. And I didn't actually erase them. So why don't you play around with masks a little bit? Just doesn't matter. Don't try to paint anything concrete. Just put random shapes down, like a triangle, and then be like, what if I put a mask on and turn it into a square? How would that be? Oh, okay. What if I want to bring some of that triangle back? Huh, okay, I can do that. Just play around and get used to the tool a little bit because it could be kind of weird at first. Play around with right clicking, disabling it, meaning it's not there, or maybe applying it, and now that's your new shape. So play around with that a little bit. But masks can be a really powerful way to refine your painting. So I just wanted to show a little mini lesson on that.